New York City is the greatest city in the world. Culturally rich, ethnically diverse, it is a true melting pot where traditions and trends are created. People move here from all over the world to follow their dreams. From the tip of Staten Island to the top of the Bronx and everywhere in between, you will find entrepreneurs on every street corner. These are their New York stories.
I am Bruce Barish.
I am Sarah Barish.
And we are the owners of Ernest Winzer Cleaners. Ernest Winzer Cleaners has been dry cleaning Broadway stage since 1908. And this is our New York story.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you very much for having us in.
It's wonderful to meet you as well.
Share us a little bit about your grandpa and how he came, because he bought this business.
So my grandfather, Al Steinhorn, owned a big laundry in the 40s, and then in the 50s, people were starting to get home washers. So some of these bigger laundries were going out, and people were looking for, obviously, other things to do. Ernest Winzer, who owned this business, was looking to get out, but had probably 20-something employees at the time. And he had a partner for my grandfather who had been working for him, who was a production guy, and my grandfather really was the business side. So
front of the house, back of the house kind of thing.
Yeah, somehow somebody put them together. I'm not sure who put them together, but somehow they got put together. And then my father actually married into it. It was my mom's father.
Oh, interesting.
So my father came in like 1960 probably.
Okay.
They were married in 61 or 62, I think. And then I was born in 65, and really my father, because he worked so hard, was the only father that was never at the Little League games. So I didn't really want to play. I wanted to be with my dad. So I've been working here since I was 7. Yeah, doing
Since
whatever.
You were 7 years old.
Yeah.
And your grandpa, you had shared,
had to retire early. Had to retire in '72 because he was really losing his sight. He had some sort of degenerative thing. So he retired in '72. So I never really got to work with him. And he also unfortunately passed away when I was 15. So I know on his deathbed he knew that I had the passion for it, but obviously he never really got to see it.
So what does one do at 7 years old?
I mean, one of the first memories of costumes I have here is the banana splits, if you remember the banana splits.
I love the banana splits.
Right, so we do a lot of mascots even to this day.
I love those bananas.
But they would get wheeled in here in these huge boxes.
So funny.
Yeah, Blue's Clues was cleaned in New York, cleaned by us when my son was very young, and he loved that show to death. And they had this red thinking chair, and they called us up one day and they asked us to actually pick up the chair and clean it. So we set it up in the back over here, knowing that my son was coming, and he came up the ramp, and like his whole face lit up. Like
he
when
knew
he saw
right
it,
away.
yeah, he thought it was the coolest thing in the world, which is kind of the way I was, back then. So yeah, I mean, I did whatever odds and ends they needed. I hung up clothes. One of the things that we used to do, which I don't think a lot of cleaners do anymore, but pan hangers used to come as a wire hanger and a separate cardboard strip. So you had to kind of put it on, and there was racks of them that you would make them. So that was one of the first jobs.
Made the hangers.
Yeah. I was the official hanger maker.
Nice. It's a neat thing being in a family business, but it's not. Well, and so, Sarah, how did you come to the family business?
Married into it.
But was it something that, I don't know, that you guys talked about, or it was that
It just kind of fell into it.
So there was like something specific that needed to get done?
Sarah was actually a realtor when I met her.
Oh,
which
okay.
is how we met.
Right.
Did you sell him a house?
No,
I wouldn't let him buy it.
She sold me her.
I sold him it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you guys dated how long?
How long did we date before we got married?
Got married.
About a year and a half.
Okay. And then, so you had, purview into the business.
Right.
You
Right.
came probably different times to see it, or no? It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
Until you were
Oh
married.
yeah. It was incredible to come here and see all the different costumes and who was wearing them, and you know, you get a lot of famous people here who you would just be like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm touching it or feeling it, or
And
so
they're
it's-
bland
Yeah.
and majestic and beautiful. And
It's second nature to me. First of all, this place is 15,000 square feet, which is big for a dry cleaner.
it's huge.
Now, there are other dry cleaners that are large. There are definitely dry cleaners that are even larger than us.
Oh, this is massive. This is a massive operation.
Yeah.
And I
But
love
most people think of dry cleaners, they think of the local dry cleaner, which is obviously the bulk of dry cleaners. But I never went to a dry cleaner as a kid, so I mean, I thought every dry cleaner was like
Was
I-
this?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Right, why would you think differently?
Right.
But even, and we are here today on a Thursday, and so in other words, costumes have been sent out.
Right.
The day
Being
Sarah was
delivered-
being
right now.
delivered right now. And I just, because we kind of got into, you know, how this business came to be and how you became a part of it, but your niche and kind of where your fame and kind of notoriety is around is that
the
you
theater.
clean the
Right.
theater.
Right.
And then some.
Right.
Blue's Clues, Banana Splits,
Right.
maybe Sesame Street.
Right. The whole entertainment industry is definitely the biggest segment, and it all started with the theater, obviously. But we do retail as well. We do our own suedes and leathers, which there's not a lot of cleaners that do. So we do business with other cleaners because we do their suedes and leathers, and we might do some of their fancier stuff as well because we do that.
And so did you start working in the business before your kids were born or
Oh no,
after?
after my kids were
After
born.
the kids.
Yeah.
And
They were in school. I mean, I can remember I had to leave here by a certain time to make sure that they were home by a certain time.
okay.
So I would leave when I would drop them off and we'd come home before they would get home.
Was that weird at all? Starting to work together on a regular basis?
I think weirder for her than me. I mean, most people say that. Even my friends are like, you know, how do you work with your wife? But, you know, I mean, I can work with anybody. But I can be a bear sometimes, so it's definitely harder for her because she catches the brunt of it. But the one thing that I've always told her is it's business. Like, you can't...
Don't
you can't,
take it personally.
And you can't take it home with you.
I mean, are there days where you just kind of say,
We all have good days. We all have bad days. We try not to have bad days on the same day.
how do you do that? Do you just not come to work? Like if you're
I always come to work.
No, she actually says that, though. That's not... I hear that from her all the time. Like, if she's having a bad day, and then I might start...
So you'll say, I'm having a bad day.
Right, you can't have it today.
In other
Right.
words, it's not your turn.
Exactly.
So you behave.
Right.
Be a good guy.
Right. Listen,
and
Mama.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you, okay. So
I mean,
thank
it
you
all,
for saying that.
It all starts with him in the morning. You know,
Right.
you wake up, you get here, and you're like, okay, what kind of mood is going, is going on in the office, and what has happened in the plant, if something has triggered something, and the mood just starts that way.
Because you're almost done. I mean, like, theoretically,
Yes,
if
in
you're getting
many
here
ways,
at 2,
yeah, right.
and you, I mean, before your kids go to school, it's 8:30.
Right.
You almost had a full day. So, like,
Yeah.
the whole
Right.
world could have blown up.
Right.
And you're walking into basically
Right.
A firestorm.
a
Right.
firestorm. Thank you. I was thinking of a different word. That's a better one.
Yeah. Does happen.
And those happen. Those happen.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stress, obviously, because we have to be perfect. The show has to go on. So we can't miss the pickups.
Right.
We can't miss the deliveries. There can't be poor pressing. There can't be stains. There can't be missed deliveries. All of that.
What's, I was just thinking before when you were talking about deliveries and you were talking about Bruce's photographic memory and sequin. Like, what's the kind of craziest request you have ever gotten?
See, I always get these questions like, what's the hardest thing you've ever cleaned? And it's a normal thing for us, all these hard things that we clean and all these crazy requests. The drivers pick up at 11 o'clock at night, and we're here at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're getting it out before lunchtime. Like, that's just normal for us.
That's just routine.
Right.
You've never had some random person call and say, I've got this and I need it by that. It's just so...
But we get that all the time.
all the time.
Right, so...
We get editors from large magazines who will say, pick this up, I need it back by then, and you got to do it. Or you're not going to keep the account.
So I would love to, this is like a candy land of cool, fun things. And I would love to just look at some, various things
Yeah, that's fine.
from the past. And love to check out your office where you have a bunch of
Want to start there?
pop and yeah, let's do that. So these are examples of things that you've restored that were. I mean, this was yellowed, totally yellowed.
Yellowed, water damage, marks all over it.
Beautiful.
This one was my favorite piece of this.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
And
is
it
that-
came in and it was literally yellow, beigey, really
Sarah, that's
disgusting
gorgeous.
looking. Yeah.
Gorgeous. It looks like a real antique piece.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you also have the tablecloth, which was bad too.
Right. The tablecloth. was
This
really-
is like I was telling you about the tablecloths. This is like what I have
Right.
from my great grandma.
We do this all the time for
Oh
people.
my gosh! And these were all yellowed. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those yellow
Yeah.
stains.
Like fold marks also.
yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
That's oxidation.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Right. So, and look how beautiful it came out.
Beautiful. So these are your.
Dry cleaning machines. Two different machines, two different technologies, two totally different solvents. But to answer the question that you were initially asked, dry cleaning means that there's no water in the washing process. Your clothes do get wet. There is a solvent there. This is a wheel, like a regular washing wheel. And we'll put a load in there and everything gets wet and everything gets dried. It goes in dry, it comes out dry. We may pre-treat stains before they go in, and we may work on stains even after they come out. Some things may get cleaned twice. Some things may get cleaned in two different technologies or even three, because we do a lot of wet cleaning as well.
Wow, these. Look at all these. Where is your?
So this is my father, this is my grandfather. This is Walter Steele, who was my grandfather's partner and then my father's partner. And this is a friend of theirs who was in the laundry business.
Oh, is this the gentleman you said came back? Who was 85?
Exactly.
Who recognized all the
Exactly.
things that you had changed?
Right.
Didn't exactly know.
Right. So that's my grandparents with Walter and his
Oh
wife.
wow, those are gorgeous.
And then this is actually Walter with his wife with Ernest Winzer. which is-
oh,
this
that's
is-
Ernest Winzer.
That's the first picture that I had ever seen of him.
Oh boy. And that's
That's my grandfather.
And it's actually signed by all.
all the kids.
No, it's not. This
These
is
are
like
people
his
that-
retirement.
Yeah, this was like his retirement. So I'm not sure. Sarah's convinced there's probably famous names on there that,
Right.
unfortunately you can't read them.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
not convinced that there's famous names per se, but
What a great tribute. I love that he sits here with you. That's great.
yeah, means
That's
a lot.
great. Well, this has been amazing. And this is, I take it, Bruce, this is you?
And that's Sarah.
Sarah, that's you. Okay. Very good. We see the brain trust in action here. So, Bruce, thank you so much for
Thank
reaching
you.
out. You have an awesome story. Thank you
Okay.
for sharing it with
Thank
us.
you.
And Sarah,
Thank you.
you are so much a part of this story too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.